This is Lab 2, Part 4. I'm continuing on to task number 2 with it. So let me explain with what you just did. All the stuff that I share with you are all the stuff that I actually talked about up to this point. So you can compile it and run it, test for data with it. Since we're adding on the same program each time you run, so you're welcome to compile. Take this in your java.bin, compile it, make sure it runs and everything is all dandy with it as well. All this is task 2. Coming down to task 3, you're going to use the char@at method. Now remember, the char@at method is how you actually get the variable in the first initial, and you can actually do a lot of stuff with this thing as well. So you can do this segment by segment and compile it and see if it works or not. Okay. So let me come through. Like I said, I'm trying to walk you through this lab as much as I can with this thing. But let's start on task. It's the same program, task number 3. All right. So I'm doing task number 3 right now. So in the next continuation for this thing, I want to have you come. You welcome to document this way, and by doing this, you can do in a lot of separate coding with this thing, so it clarifies, it separates a lot of, it's easier for me to read if you did this, so I know exactly what's going on with this thing. So come into this thing. We're about to do the same thing as here, I want to do this, and I want to do task 3 goes here with it. So you need to prompt the user, or get the first character from the user's first name. How do you do that? Well, if you recall, you know, when you prompt the user's first initial, when you first move through this thing, you create that scanner class and you look through it. And when you actually need to do is, if you print out the assigning, you know, prompting the user to get the first character for, you have to look at the char@. Now, if you recall, in 1436, or at least you had me, I really killed this thing, is that when we talk about position, it's always the element number. That first character, if you recall, in string, I'm going to use a square box. I'm going to use this example as my name, Dan. Right? When I ask for the position, you're going to start counting with 0. So that's the position, is 0, 1, 2. If I ask you to count by length, what is the size or length, you're going to start counting with 1. So the length of Dan is 1, 2, 3. Does that make sense? But the position D is the position or elements. So the position I am interested in is the first letter. Okay, and you will need to use what's called the char@at position, and to actually to find out what is that first position, or the content of the first position with it. So the char@at 0 is what you want to use. Okay, so I thought I would mention that. Please read in your book. It talks about it and has wonderful examples for you to actually look at it. But in this case, we're going to look at, you're going to get the first character from the first name for this thing. That goes here. All right. So, and the next line is what you're going to come up here, and you're going to actually print out the user first initial, and then you're going to convert the user's full name to all capital letters. Now, how do you convert to upper? You have to, I gave it away. It's to upper, right? It's a method that you have to use to actually access the string. You have accesses to the string, and you actually to uppercase method. Okay, so that's what I mean by that. Inside of this thing, after you print up to all, and you're going to have to print out the user's full name in all caps, capital. So to uppercase is actually how you would actually you convert it over and just print it out and displays it. Okay. So the book talks here about several ways of doing that. To uppercase is the method. You use the first position is what char at 0 position with it. So use the dot syntax notation. Remember that, and how you create the dot syntax notation with this thing. So how do you read in? Let's back up track for a moment here. You got the scanner class, right? You create a scanner class called keyboard. I asked you to create, right? So you prompt the user, store that. How do you have the scanner class called keyboard? How do you read in the entire line? There's a method that you read in the entire line in there and stores it in there. Look at that. Look up what that method. Assign that to a memory. Okay, that's my point. You assign that to a memory location. So let's say you prompt the, get the first character. You prompt the user for the first name. You prompt the user for you read it in. You store it into. That has to store it into some sort of variable up here that you want to declare as a string, right? From that becomes an object, and you have to use the dot syntax, such as name or L name for a last name. Dot what? Dot method. What method are you using? Char at, or are you using dot to uppercase method? Remember how you depict method is with a parentheses. Read in your book for those methods in there as well. Okay. Now, to print out the user's full name in capital, okay, so you have to be able to print that out and with the user's full name in capital letters with it as well. The last thing is I need for you in the same assignment is that you're going to do the letters and the numbers, number to character in it. So tell me the letter and the number of characters in it. How many letters and the characters are in that particular name with it. So to upper, to case, and look at the different possibilities. You can actually do that as well. Okay. Now let me check.